Okay, this video is an instructional video for piping network experiment. The piping network experiment works with a single speed pump pumping water from this reservoir through a piping network. And the way the flow goes is that the water first flows through the outer pipe. It's labeled outer. It's the pipe that's closest to the wall. It goes all the way up across the room, hits a 90-degree bend, and then flows all the way to the senior design room on the other side of this wall, turns back around and flows back through the second most outer pipe. So the pipe the second closest pipe to the wall. And then it continues and again turns back around at this side of the room and then flows down through here back into the reservoir. And then there's 6 pressure sensors. The 6 pressure sensors are located along the piping network at 2 points right here. As you can see, there's an orifice flow meter in between those 2 pressure sensors, and you will use the pressure difference across. Those 2 pressure sensors are meant to measure the difference in pressure across the orifice flow meter, and then the drop in flow rate or the drop in pressure is a means for you to determine the flow rate through the network, piping network. Pressure sensor number 2 is located, or 3 is located right here. Number 4 is on the other side of the room, and 5 as well. Number 6 is located just before the bend on the return, and then it goes back into the reservoir. To turn on the piping network, just turn the switch, and then it causes flow. To measure the pressure through the pressure sensors are outputted across this interface, and this interface has attached to it multimeters that measure the voltage output from the pressure sensor that's directly related to the pressure. So turn on, I'll make sure it's first plugged in. Right? So when you plug it in, there should be some lights that turn on. This is a diagram here on the face of this interface box. There's a diagram of the piping network. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off so you can hear me better. There's a diagram of the piping network, and you can see that there are 4 lights illuminated. Here's the reservoir. Here is pressure sensors 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6. So right now what it's saying is that there's only 4 outputs, 4 multimeters that give you the voltage across 4 pressure sensors at a time. So right now, pressure sensors 3 through 6 are on. If you turn this knob 1 click over, you'll see pressure sensors 1 and 2 are activated. So again, just to see it, turn on the piping network, pressure sensors 1 and 2 are activated. Turn on all of the voltmeters to AC plus DC, and you should see pressure sensor 1, voltage for pressure sensor 1 and 2. Then you can turn this to activate the other 4 pressure sensors. Then you see the voltage for pressure sensors 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to go ahead and record the voltage output for each pressure sensor for 2 different flow rates. One flow rate with the system with all the valves fully open, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and restrict the flow using this valve. Turn this valve to a 45-degree angle, and that'll restrict the flow and decrease the flow. And that is your second flow rate condition. And again, you're going to go ahead and take the voltage readings for that flow rate setting. So that's it as far as collecting the data for this experiment is concerned. And as far as processing the data, the steps are for you to first find what the flow rate are for the 2 flow rate scenarios, And then from there, you're going to go ahead and find what the pressure drop is through various sections of pipe. The sections of pipe are determined according to the location of the pressure sensor. So for example, section 1 should be between sensors 3 and 4. So there's sensor 3. You'll find sensor 4 in the other room. Sensor 4, so that'll be one section of pipe. Section 2 of pipe is going to be between sensors 4 and 5, and then section 3 is between 5 and 6. Take note that along the pipe that's closest to the wall, you're going to notice that there is a reduction in flow rate. A reduction in pipe diameter in the senior design room. All this is indicated in a lab handout, so you should be able to see all of the fittings and the reduction in pipe size on the lab handout. So you're going to go ahead and try to use Moody friction factors and coefficient losses to determine your head loss, and then compare that to what you get from the pressure sensors. All right, that concludes the instructional video for the piping network.